Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Josh Christensen, and I'm the Director of Client Development here at iResponse. I want to welcome you to today's webinar series, which is 6 reasons hotels or restaurants should use Instagram. Joining me on today's call are Matt Woodinka, who is the Client Development Manager for Social Media, and Julina McBride, who's the Social Media Manager for iResponse. So we'll be answering questions towards the end of our webinar. So if you look at the GoToWebinar control panel on the right-hand side of your screen, you should see a window, little drop-down box for questions. So certainly post your questions there, and we'll get to those towards the end of our webinar. Now, want to go ahead and be respectful of your time and certainly jump right into today's webinar. So looking at the agenda, of course, why Instagram? We're going to cover all these items certainly on today's call. So what is Instagram? Well, you know, certainly this is something that you should utilize or are already utilizing on a daily basis. And certainly while many of you may know the ins and outs of Instagram, and it's likely that many of you already use it, whether for personal or business use, we want to give you a quick overview, certainly for those that are not as familiar with the different features on Instagram. So we look at the social networking app. It's a social networking app made for sharing photos, videos, Instagram TV, and creating stories. While the platform started as a place to post still videos, video has become a huge player on this platform, as it has everywhere else. And we'll touch a little more on some of the other features Instagram has to offer a little later in the webinar, including IGTV and stories. It was purchased by Facebook for $715 million in 2012. You'll see some similarities between Facebook and Instagram, but there are definitely key characteristics of Instagram that make it unique. And then each user has their own profile to which they can post content, but also has a news feed where you'll see posts from individuals or brands you follow. This is certainly where your followers will see the content you're posting. And then, you know, Instagram is all about the visuals, whether you're posting photos or videos. This isn't really a platform where people are looking to do a lot of reading. And then, you know, as with other social platforms, Instagram allows users to follow accounts of individuals and businesses. They can like and comment on posts, tag other accounts in posts, which is really great for the hospitality industry. It gives your customers the opportunity to post the photo they took of their delicious meal or the view from their hotel room and tag you in the post. And that will be seen by their followers as well. So Instagram allows private messaging in addition to those functions. So why Instagram? Well, because your guests are there, and it's a great way to reach your audience where they are. The audience is massive. It is continuously growing. So we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into who this audience is comprised of. So who uses Instagram? Well, if you're considering using Instagram as part of your social media strategy for your hotel or restaurant, you'll first want to know who uses the platform to really ensure your target audience is there and that it makes sense for you to have a presence on the platform. So looking at some of this information, and this is according to Hootsuite, there are 1 billion users using social networks. Of them all, Facebook and YouTube have the most people logging in. 500 million users log into Instagram daily, which is significant. And in the U.S. alone, usage is expected to grow to over 100 million by the end of 2018 and projected to reach 130 million by 2022. And then looking at some of these other key metrics and statistics, 64% of individuals between the ages of 18 and 29 are using Instagram. 40% of individuals between the ages of 30 and 49 are using Instagram. And 21% of individuals between the ages of 50 and 64 are using Instagram. So that really gives you a breakout of who is utilizing this particular social media platform. And then looking further deeper dive into who's utilizing Instagram, 39% of women use Instagram, whereas 30% of men use this social media platform. And according to Hootsuite, in the U.S., women more than men are using the photo sharing app, but the gap has decreased slightly over the last few years. And in the U.S., 70% of Instagram users have a post-secondary education. And, you know, it's a very connected audience. 95% of Instagram users use YouTube. 91% use Facebook, and 60% use Snapchat. So it makes it certainly important that you have a strong, coherent message and presence across these various platforms. But Instagram isn't just for individual personal use. 71% of businesses use Instagram, and certainly this is now well ahead of Twitter, and 25 million business profiles with over 200 million users who are visiting at least one business profile every day. And then 80% of users follow at least one business. So looking at generational trends for millennials and Generation Z, Instagram is obviously used heavily by these generational segments. We wanted to really take a deeper dive and take a moment to look into these generational trends that we've been seeing. And 32% of the global population of 7.7 billion total people, worldwide population, obviously, in 2019 will be Generation Z. This has Generation Zers nudging ahead of millennials, who will account for about 32% share. They value an experience. They're placing a focus on the experience rather than possessions. Saving money specifically for travel. The good news here is that Americans are saving money specifically for this reason. Millennials are more likely to post their travel experiences to social media and ask for recommendations about trips prior to booking, whereas Generation Zers are reading more posts to help them make their decisions as to where to travel. They've chosen destinations specifically because of the postings they saw, and the fact that they saw that on social media. And, they want to use one website to book all travel. That's flights, hotels, car rentals, for example. And they will work for travel. Studies show that 71% of Generation Zers are willing to work a part-time job to save funds for a future trip. And both Generation Zers and millennials agree that they would even sell clothing and furniture for travel funds. So again, this is certainly, having that experience, having the ability to travel is very important to them. And then using social media to help make purchasing decisions. Not only are these younger generations putting an effort to saving for travel, they're turning to social media to help inform their decision-making process and plan their trips. They're researching cities, local attractions, restaurants, and hotels. For example, of the top 10 research channels, social networks rank second. That's higher than even a company's own official website, which is pretty significant. And this is something that I've even witnessed firsthand, and you may have as well, where somebody's considering a particular restaurant for dinner or a hotel that they're considering booking for an upcoming trip, and they'll likely search for them on Instagram. And they can actually be deterred from going somewhere if the hotel or restaurant doesn't have an Instagram account, or if it's being poorly managed. In fact, we found that 30% of millennial diners actively avoid restaurants with a weak Instagram presence. So why Instagram? Well, because it's not only gaining in popularity, and we have the stats to prove that. Looking at, again, some of these trends and stats, 22% of users log in daily, according to Hootsuite. As you can see by these numbers, Instagram is a powerhouse right now. And not only is the user base huge and growing, they're active and engaging at rates well above other social platforms like Facebook and Twitter. And as these trends continue to shift towards users wanting more visual content, especially video, it's almost guaranteed that Instagram will continue to be a big player. And then 76% of travelers post pictures of their trips to social media. If you've ever been to a top tourist attraction or really anywhere with a nice view and a crowd, and have seen those crowds of visitors attempting to take the perfect photo or selfie, then you won't be surprised to learn that 76% of travelers post pictures of their trips to social media. And when it comes to millennials, that number increases to 97%. And then, looking at a 2.2% engagement rate, obviously that's more than any other social network, and it's specifically higher for hospitality. And really, chances are these photos aren't going unnoticed. Instagram boasts an incredible 2.2% engagement rate, which again dwarfs the engagement rates of other social media networks. including 10 times higher than Facebook, 54 times higher than Pinterest, and 84 times higher than Twitter. And these engagement rates tend to be exceptionally higher for the hospitality industry, as I previously mentioned. And then stories work for brands. A third of the most viewed stories are being created by businesses. And lastly, 60% of users discover products on Instagram, and 72% of users have bought a product they saw. All the more reason for hotels to, in fact, have a presence on Instagram. So, why Instagram? Well, because of guest engagement. Instagram engagement is at an all-time high and continues to grow, dwarfing other social networks' interaction rates. So, we've mentioned Instagram engagement, a few times in previous slides. So what does that mean? Well, it refers to a person's degree of social involvement or activities as defined by likes, comments, clicking videos or stories, etc., on a post. And engagement is any interaction with content. Looking at this, users liked 4.2 billion posts per day as of 2016. These are numbers specifically from Instagram. And then as of 2016, users have posted 95 million posts per day on Instagram. Users watch 400 million stories a day, up from 300 million in October of last year, with a third of the most viewed stories created by brands. And we'll talk about stories in a couple of minutes and provide an example in case you're not familiar with them. 80% increase year by year for videos. Looking at 2017 to 2018, while the number of videos created each day certainly quadrupled from 2017. And then we looked at that, we touched on that a little earlier about the 2.2% interaction rate, significantly higher than other networks, including Facebook. And then looking at how users certainly engage with Instagram. Instagram users engage with businesses, and for all intents and purposes, hospitality industry plays a big part of that, specifically hotels and restaurants. And they do so; these users do so to find out new places to stay and new restaurants to dine in. 71% of businesses use Instagram. This means 71% of businesses understand the growth and opportunities Instagram has to offer. So really, why would you not want to give your hotel or restaurant these same opportunities? 80% of users follow at least one business. We certainly suggest that hotels need to take advantage of this statistic and create a well-rounded Instagram business account that makes guests want to follow them, engage with them, and eventually stay with them. And then 60% of users discover products on Instagram, and 75% of users take action. Like visiting a website or purchasing a service or product after looking at a brand's post, users are more likely to choose restaurants and hotels with Instagram accounts than those who don't. And then of those 71% of businesses who use Instagram, 42% of the food and beverage industry does as well. So use Instagram to show your future guests what an experience at your restaurant is like. And then looking at, sort of the visual, the mobile simplicity community, Instagram stories and Instagram Discover, we'll delve into those a little bit in detail here. Now with the visual, engagement on Instagram is high due to the visual nature of the platform. People enjoy interacting with pretty photos and watching fun videos, and they want to let people know, when they like them. So they do this by clicking a like button on a public platform. And looking at mobile functionality, Instagram is a mobile app, so you can use it on the computer, but it really isn't the same experience. The mobile functionality makes it easier for users to constantly check in, thus increasing engagement. And then Instagram has a simple ease of use. You can simply scroll to see everyone you're following and double tap to making it easier for everyone to engage. And then Instagram forms communities, and each community is supportive and wants to like and comment on another's posts. And then a large portion of engagement comes from followers watching Instagram stories. And these come from stories you create and interact on them, whether it's by participating in a poll or swiping up to see what the account has linked to in the story. And then lastly, Instagram Discover. Here you get a screenshot, of the Instagram Discover page. Instagram shows you posts, both photos and videos, of what they think you want to see. And these are based on your interactions with other accounts on Instagram. So with that, I'm going to invite Matt Wodenka, who is our client development manager for social media, to join us, and he's going to go into why Instagram, because it's the ideal platform for hotels and restaurants. Matt.
Thanks, Josh. Yep, we're going to jump right into really Instagram being the ideal platform for our industry. You've probably asked yourself, how exactly can my hotel or restaurant use Instagram? And the straightforward answer is the travel and hospitality industry really has so much to showcase, and a visual platform like Instagram is practically made for content like this. One easy thing you can do from the start is to really work to create an environment where guests feel that they want to share pictures. For example, you can serve beautiful dishes in your restaurant. Make sure they're dishes that travelers really want to share with their friends and family. You can make a hashtag for your hotel so that users can find images quickly and use the hashtag when they visit your hotel. And also make it easy for guests to tag you. For example, you might include information about your social media accounts in a welcome package, or maybe even your Wi-Fi information card. Now we'll take a look at different ways to actually share content on Instagram. Much of what you might share on Instagram is content you would create at your hotel or have someone create for you, whether that be photos of your amenities, your rooms, videos of events, obviously a plethora of options there. But Instagram has many more ways to share content. You can use user-generated content, really showing what your guests are doing at your hotel. You can search for this content within Instagram using hashtags and geotags, and then repost to your account, obviously with the permission of the original poster. And with Instagram stories, you can show quick snippets of things happening at your hotel on a day-to-day basis. These can be both videos or photos, and you can make them very interactive, adding things like polls, different users, and hashtags to the story. You can use IGTV. This allows you to post longer video content to your Instagram, as well as live video. This is often used for events when you want to let your audience see what is happening live from your location. We also want to point out here that we've noticed that not many select service hotels are fully utilizing these awesome features that Instagram has to offer. We found that features like Instagram stories or the IGTV and live video are really being used more often by destination resorts and full service hotels. But they're really available for everyone to use, which really makes now a great time for you to establish that presence on Instagram and then begin utilizing these tools that'll really make make it easy for you to highlight everything your hotel or restaurant has to offer in a really kind of new and exciting way. And posting such content will really put you ahead of the curve and make you stand out from different content that your direct competitors might be doing. And just like on Facebook, social media users are looking for recommendations from their social community on Instagram. And we have a video here that kind of highlights that well. So the power of Instagram for hospitality is huge. And with this one video, which had more than 500,000 views at the time that it was captured, Drew Barrymore was able to capture the hotel recommendations of her 9.9 million followers. The ones that were chosen were tagged and featured on her account and in her Flower Press publication that she references in the video. And it's not only the hotels that were chosen by her that got noticed. This video had thousands of comments. So all the hotels listed in the comment section can be seen by anyone. So those who commented may notice other hotel suggestions that other people posted, but even those who didn't comment could also scroll through simply to see which hotels were mentioned and ones that they may consider booking in the future. Another reason to use Instagram, because your competition is likely already doing it. We'll go ahead and take a look at a few examples of those who are doing it and doing it well. The Four Seasons hotels are doing a great job using Instagram to engage their guests with more than 782,000 followers, and they definitely leverage that user-generated content Their bio section even includes requests for content stating, tag your own Four Seasons photos at Four Seasons to share. And this creates so many opportunities for Four Seasons to post user-generated content, which often get more engagement than heavily branded content that they might be posting just from their account. And they get even more creative with the use of that bio section, not always just linking to their website. When we put this together, the URL and the bio link to a website to buy a book, Four Seasons, The Art of Hospitality. They also have what they call the Four Seasons Envoy, and they use Instagram to highlight this key initiative. And this initiative invites storytellers from all around the world to collaborate with them, to share what it means to be in the moment and to connect diverse cultures, places, and experiences facilitated by Four Seasons. So just another great example of how they're using their platform to curate content from users from all over the world. They also make sure that their content is fresh and shareable. They use a healthy balance of images and videos, and they also sell their hotels and restaurants by highlighting local attractions and scenery, showing potential guests more than just a hotel room. And they aren't just selling the entire vacation travel experience, they're creating content that people are more likely to engage with and share with others. And they've also harnessed the power of influencers to gain exposure, partnering with people like fashion, finance, travel, and beauty influencer Nikki A. Hall to highlight one of their spa treatments. And lastly, I want to point out that their consistent voice and style, even though they're sharing content from properties all around the world, they still manage to deliver their copy and images in a really consistent brand voice. And one select service brand using Instagram to its advantage is the Aloft Miami Doral. Their Instagram has over 11,000 followers with varying and engaging content. And they also do a really great job of utilizing that bio section. They use hashtags and they incorporate handles to the hotel's bar Instagram as well to get some cross promotion there. They also include the hotel website and a clickable address. And they're utilizing Instagram stories, and their posts are always very colorful and vibrant, with a similar theme carried through all their posts. And they highlight obviously different activities at their hotel, including things like the bar, fitness center, pool, conference rooms, food, and people just having fun at their hotel. They also use hashtags to reach a larger relevant audience, and also use user-generated content. And they post their all their captions on Instagram in English and Spanish to really make sure that they're connecting with their audience. And from a competitive model standpoint, Airbnb is using Instagram and they're using it very well. They thrive on user-generated content. They're associated as millennial cool because Instagram is really a millennial show-off haven. And millions of people are posting their Airbnb stays and experiences, giving them so much user-generated content to highlight on their own profiles. Their profile is always filled with beautiful envy-invoking posts that would make anyone want to travel and stay in those same locations. So the question really is, why would you not want to take advantage of this platform to show that your properties are just as unique and fun as properties Airbnb is showcasing on their Instagram? Here's a few stats about Airbnb. They have 3.4 million Instagram followers. They use Instagram stories, highlights, and IGTV, all of which add to more content for their guests to look at and spend more time on their Instagram page. They also use geotags so that people see their posts when searching specific locations they may be traveling to, and they tag the users whose photos that they are sharing, which really helps because those users are then more likely to share that their photo was reposted, and this causes more people to see the photo on Airbnb that wouldn't have seen it otherwise. And lastly, they leverage hashtags really well, with 1.8 million photos currently having the hashtag Airbnb on Instagram. And they also use specific hashtags. One they use is hashtag Airbnb experience. And this shows off another section of their business, which is that experience section rather than just their home sharing. So here are just a few final key takeaways. Instagram is a social media platform focusing on visual content that can be easily consumed and engaged on a mobile device. The audience is massive, making it one of the most used platforms today. And the audience is very active and engaged, especially when it comes to the hospitality industry. The platform is gaining in popularity every day, and users are using it to discover and buy products and services. And as I mentioned, your competition is likely already doing it, and they're probably engaging with your potential guests during that travel decision-making process, so you should be there too. Without a presence, many users won't even consider your hotel or restaurant. And lastly, we know that sharing or ramping up your presence on Instagram can seem intimidating, but we are here to help. Our packages for Instagram are customizable to your needs, and we work on engaging your guests online while you spend your time delighting your guests in person. So as I mentioned, managing your social accounts can seem a bit of a daunting task at times, but we on our team have the expertise and experience to make this process very easy and manageable for you. And our guests often state the reasons they enjoy partnering with us, and we refer to that as the iResponse advantage. We are made up of, we're a team of passionate hospitality industry professionals. We are respected by major hotel brands as an authentic partner. And we like to call ourselves a trusted extension of your team. We're really part of your team, and we are approachable and accessible at all times. We are experienced, great. We have hotel iResponse ambassadors with great hotel backgrounds, and each one will have be assigned to a property. We have customized, authentic responses to every review and brand survey while adhering to each of your brand standards. We create fresh, relevant content and manage your social networks to build your customer advocacy. We also have tailored solutions to meet the needs of our clients. We understand that it isn't one size fits all and want to make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. And lastly, we are the official Marriott International preferred provider of respondent services. So if you're ready to engage with your social butterflies, the next step for you would be to take a look at our different package options, and we can get on a call with you and decide which one really fits what your social media needs are right now. And then with that, we would sign a service agreement just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. And after that is signed, we would hop on a discovery call where we really immerse ourselves in all things related to your property to make sure that we are really that extension of your team. And then, as I mentioned, you can go forward and wow your guests on property while we do so on social media. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at any time. You have our contact information there on the screen. We'd love to set up a one-on-one call or get a proposal in your hands. And we'll also open up to questions at this time. So if you have any and want to type them in the chat box to the right of your screen, we'll go ahead and get those answered. I don't see any at this time.
Looks like we have any questions at this time.
All right, well, as I mentioned, we have our contact information. We'd love to hear from each of you and find out how we can help you with your social media needs.